What's going on, everybody? Zane here, back with another video. For this one, we're going to go over question number 160, which is the intersection of two linked lists. So I'm not going to go over the example too much because this diagram here explains it pretty well, where we have two lists A and B, or two list node A and B, two linked lists, and our task is to find the node that has the intersection of both of them. So in this case, it would be C1 because clearly that's where they intersect, or that's where both of their list nodes have some common node. Now, if there is a case where there is nothing that is, or there's no intersection, then we just return null. That's really all the question is asking here. So when tackling this, I started playing around doing different while loops and all that fun stuff, but then I realized that I need to take a step back and think about what exactly are we trying to figure out. We need to figure out what the intersection is. The intersection would be some value that, or some data that would be common in both list nodes. So if we were to go through one of the list nodes and put all of those nodes separately into a data type, and then go through the second one and check to see if the second list node has any one of the first list node's node, then we can say we found our intersection and we'll return that node. Otherwise, we just return null. So what I mean by that is we can use a set. And in this case, we're going to use a set of type list node because we're dealing with list nodes. And I'll just call this set, or visited nodes. And this will be a new hash set. Now what we can do is we can pick any one of our lists to traverse through first. So I'll say when we're looping through list nodes, we can just do, we'll take the list node. So we'll say while the list node head A does not equal null, then we can do whatever we need to do and then move forward to the next node. So this is typically how a while loop would work if you're iterating through a list node. So while we're iterating through our head A list node, we'll just say visited nodes dot add, and we'll add our head A value. And then we'll just say head A equals head A dot next because we want to move to the next node. So all we're doing here is we're going through our head A list node, adding all of the nodes, moving to the next node, or sorry, I'm going to actually repeat that because that sounds a little confusing. I want to be as clear as possible. We're looping through and we're adding each node from our list node. And to ensure that we move on to the next node before we jump out of our while loop, we'll go to the next node. So add the node, go to the next node, add the node, go to the next node, until we get to a point where it is null. Because we get to the end, there's no other node, then we'll jump out of here. Now, once we've jumped out of here, we have all of our nodes set in our set. Now, what we could do here is we'll do another while loop, this time on head B, and do the same concept of not equal to null. And we'll say that if the map, if the set contains the value of head B, then that means we found our intersection. So if the set, which is all head A nodes, if the value of head B is inside of that set, that means we found our intersection, so we can just return head B. If that's not the case, then, well, we need to make sure that we move head B forward. Now, if none of these, or if this did not trigger, that would mean that we've iterated through, added to our set, we made sure that head B's nodes did not get returned. And so if that's the case, we'll just return null because there were no intersections. So let's see what's going on here. I just named this incorrectly. And let's submit this. Great. So just to recap real quick, we are using a set data type. I think that's one of the biggest things when tackling a problem like this, is to establish what type of data set you're going to use, or a data type you're going to use, and then plan your, figure out your plan of attack. And here we're just looping through the first list node, adding all those values to our set, then we're looping through the second list node, and we're saying, hey, if this value or if this node is already inside of our set, then return that because that's our intersection. Otherwise, move to the next node. And if none of this actually works out, then well, just return null because there's no intersection. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, hit that like, subscribe button, show me some love, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.